Well, welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. This is a very exciting day for the University of Texas, our students, our fans, and the entire university community and the city of Austin. Today, the UT System Board of Regents approved our proposal to build here on campus, just south of Mike Myers Stadium, a new arena to replace the 41-year-old Frank C. Irwin Center, which will be torn down to accommodate the future expansion of Dell Medical School. This new 10,000-seat basketball arena will be the home of Texas men's and women's basketball, many University of Texas events, commencements, and local celebration, including high school graduations. It can also be expanded to 15,000 seating capacity to host concerts and other events for the city of Austin. Our goal is to have this new arena open in 2021. This $338 million project will be built and operated by Oakview Group in conjunction with C3 Live Nation and our very own Matthew McConaughey, a distinguished alum of the University of Texas. It's a truly innovative agreement that brings together multiple world-class organizations and brands to create one of the best college basketball arenas in the nation and a state-of-the-art venue for the city of Austin. It's a tremendous public benefit to the university and the city and gives us this new home for events that are so important to our community. This new arena comes at no cost to the university and no cost to local taxpayers for its capital construction. Our student athletes will benefit from playing in a new state-of-the-art arena, and our fans will be closer to the action on the floor in an intimate setting in the very heart of our campus. City of Austin has been a great strategic partner with the university. Earlier this week, I spoke with Mayor Adler, who couldn't be here today because he's traveling, and he is very excited about this project. And we are working closely with the city leaders to plan for the construction of this project to make sure we have the infrastructure in place, including realigning Red River to return it to a grid structure, which will also improve transportation through this part of the city. I'd like to thank our partners at Oakview Group and especially CEO Tim Lewicki, C3 Live Nation, and Matthew McConaughey for developing a truly remarkable proposal and plan to build and operate this facility for the benefit of the university and the city of Austin. Gensler Architects has done a fabulous job as they begin the design of the arena. I'd like to thank our Senior Vice President and CFO, Daryl Bazell, who has helped organize this on behalf of the university. And I want to especially thank the coaches of our Texas basketball team, Karen Aston, who's coaching out of town today, and Coach Shaka Smart, head coach for men's basketball, for their vital participation in planning for this incredible venue for their two basketball teams, and for coaching outstanding young men and women who one day will take the floor of this new arena. And finally, I'd like to thank our athletic director, Chris Del Conte. It's hard to believe he's only been at the University of Texas for 1 year and how much he has changed Texas athletics and changed this university and especially helped get this project going. So please welcome our Vice President and Athletic Director, Chris Del Conte.
I have no prepared notes. The boss said everything, right? But I'll just say this for a moment. There's so many people that are involved in this project, and for it to become a reality is absolutely amazing. But I remember just a year ago, a week ago, I was sitting in New York City when the boss talked about coming to be the athletic director here at the University of Texas and working for him. I was inspired by his audacious goals for the university, and he talked about the city of Austin and the University of Texas and what a medical school provides to a great city. He goes, you know, when you have a medical school for a great city, what it does is it's going to care for our citizens. Talk about the city of Austin and having a facility, a grand facility that we can provide unbelievable entertainment for this great city, but we needed a new venue for our athletic program as the medical center will start to expand. I'm sitting there listening to this guy, and he goes, you know what, we're going to build this without no cost to the athletic department or the university. I said, sure you are, my man. Who thinks of that? Really? I mean, now I'm thinking to myself, how is that going to happen? He goes, I had this idea, this bold vision, and he talked about the stadium, he talked about the institution, talked about the leadership that he's building, his cabinet. I'm thinking, my God, that's inspiring. Today, boss, this is really about your vision. What you wanted for the university is laid out here today. And it was, when you looked at putting that RFP out in February, I was thinking, there is no way someone's going to participate in this, because I just couldn't wrap my head around the thinking. And sure enough, your thinking today is we are here. A lot of people were involved in this thought process, but it was your intellectual property that says this is something we can do. And Mr. Lewicki, meeting you for the first time, going through this process, I get there's a guy that has equal to the boss in terms of audacious goals and vision. And when you two got together and said this is something we want to do, we're here today because of the two of you. And it is awesome. I'm fired up for our student athletes. I'm fired up for the city of Austin, for our students, and more importantly, for the University of Texas. You are making dreams a reality. So I'd like to introduce you to Tim Lewicki, the man responsible for this project and making it happen. Come on up here, my friend. Appreciate you. All right, thank you.
Thank you. So now Greg's our boss, so I get to call him boss. We're very pleased to be here today. We're very honored to be here today. What I never really mentioned during the negotiations, because these guys were tough enough as it is without getting them another competitive edge. As a young man out of high school, I came to Austin and spent a year here and fell in love with it. I fell in love with its culture, its passion, the people, its vision, and its growth. And so to have this unique opportunity for our company to come back into this great city, and in particular, this great campus, and be a part of the Longhorn family, we are very, very overwhelmed with not only the moment and the partnership and the relationship with this city, with this community, and with the student body, but we're honored to be part of the Longhorn family. So I had to highlight a couple of people. We're here today because Francesca Bodie is here somewhere, Francesca, and Dan Schell. So these are the folks that were passionate about this project, drove it within our company, and made sure that we stayed focused on getting this done. In addition to that, we are blessed with great partners. So I'll talk about Charles and C3 in a second. I've known him a long time. We tried to buy the company. Now he's going to be really expensive. So it's amazing the job he's done and how loyal he is to his hometown. And there's no one better than Matthew. He is a great statesman for the University of Texas, and for Austin. Having Matthew, so understand, he was in all the negotiations. Every ounce of the negotiations, he was really good. And having a guy like that, when we'd be negotiating, we'd be arguing, we'd reach a settlement, we'd look to Matthew going, what do you think? And then all you hear from him, all right, all right, all right. So he's with us today from London. He's very committed to this. We're honored that he is our Minister of Culture. He will help guide us to make sure that this is not just a great home for the students and for the coach of the basketball team, both men's and women's, but also for the city and for the community. Last thing I'll add, and this is important, this is an amazing accomplishment, and it's going to be an amazing facility, not just for the university, not just for the students, not just for the alumni, not just for the athletes, for this city. So I will compliment the president and his team on their vision to not only find a private public relationship that ultimately can find a way to do this without it having to burden the taxpayers or the campus. But in addition to that, they were very, very focused on the city of Austin. And we wanted to build, this is one of the great markets in all of the country, one of the fastest growing markets in all of the country. It is why we're here. It is a dynamic marketplace, loves its music. So the ability for the university to always have that vision and want to do something spectacular for both this community and this campus was unique. Their enthusiasm made us very excited. We're very committed. We understand we are now part of the Longhorn family, and we're proud of it. And we'll do a good job of making sure this gets built on time, we hope on budget. And in addition to that, we create one of the great points of destination for sports and entertainment anywhere in the country. With that, I'm going to introduce our partner. So the other reason we did this is Charles. I was in the live entertainment business. We competed against him. We tried to do things together, but I always had great admiration for C3, Charles, and his partners. We had a chance to come down to the festival again this year. I think it's the best festival anywhere in the country. I think they do as good a job of entertaining people and being part of this city and in this community. And so to have his knowledge, his experience, his reputation, and they're going to guide us on the music side of this to make sure that this is one of the top arenas anywhere in the world for music. We could not ask for a better partner and someone who is very, very dedicated to this university and to this city. Charles?
Thank you, Tim. I was talking to my family last night, my mother and father, and we were reminiscing a little bit about the Irwin Center. And my father was bringing up the old Southwest Conference games he used to take me to, and he reminded me of the negotiations we had to have leading up to the game and make sure I cleaned up my room and everything was tidy before we were able to go to an event at the Irwin Center. And my mother reminded me of the first concert that I was trying to go to. It was Foreigner back in the early 80s at the Irwin Center, and Bryan Adams was the opener. And that was about a 3-week negotiation with the family, and I had to do a lot of chores. I had to make sure I did my homework, and I finally got to go to that show. And so, you know, for me, this is true to my heart. It's really, really an important project. It's a personal project for me, and I'm really honored to be a part of it, and really excited to bring a world-class arena to the city of Austin and to the University of Texas that everybody can be proud of. Thank you.
Okay, we're open for questions, and we've got all our fellow collaborators here, and we'll ask them to help answer the questions.
Jim? Yeah, hi, Jim Bertuno with the AP. I was just curious, to go forward with this, will there be naming rights to be sold with this? Do you have a name for it yet? If you do sell naming rights, who controls that process? Who gets the money, and basically who gets approval on where it goes?
You want to take that?
Sure. Yes, is the answer to the first question. So we will work on naming rights. We've had quite a few companies approach us, but that decision will be a decision between us and Chris and the university. So we work in lockstep on trying to make sure we do this the right way, and that goes back into the arena and obviously creating revenue necessary for this arena to get built and for us to have the ability to pay for it.
Ralph Horowitz with the American Statesman newspaper here. Who controls concession prices during the 60 days or so that the university runs things, and who controls the prices the rest of the time? And what will those prices be, given that Chris Del Conte tried to do some things to make it a little more affordable?
Chris, why don't you come?
Can you go to the mic?
I can go to the mic.
Yeah.
Well, this is a celebration. You're throwing hardball questions right out of the get-go. I mean, come on now. We've already went through this once before. The idea is that the events that are going to be athletic events, we will control the revenues for those athletic events and the concession prices and everything associated with athletic events. Will come to the athletic department at that point in time. So we'll have discretion on what pricing will be, and everything will be around those particular events. Does that satisfy your question?
And the rest of the time?
The rest of the time? The rest of the time, that's with the relationship that we'll have with OVG and C3. That'll have we'll be a partner in the revenue, but they will control a lot of the pricing and what happens those other dates.
So they'll control, just to be clear, they'll control concession prices at the rest of the time.
Fair enough.
How much of a priority was it to get the stadium without coming at a cost to the university and taxpayers?
Since it's your vision.
It was a very high priority that we, first of all, had a replacement for the Irwin Center. The Irwin Center is 40 years old. We've had a lot of games there, a lot of events, but it's not really a modern concert arena, and it has some problems as a basketball arena. And of course, then the site is going to be needed for the future expansion of Dell Medical School. So we knew we needed a new arena. I'm cheap. And so if I can build something with no cost, I try to do it. So it was a high priority.
How did Matthew McConaughey get involved in on this? And what does Minister of Culture mean?
So I've known Matthew for a little while from my former previous life at AEG. Mr. Anschutz, who was the owner of that company, did a movie with Matthew, and I got to know Matthew through that, but I always stayed in touch with him. Charles and Matthew were very close and good friends. Matthew is the passion he has for this university, the passion he has for the city is unmatched. This is not a token. He is actively involved in the design of this building. And so when we begin to show you where we're headed with what this building is going to feel like, how this building is going to react, how we price out concessions, Matthew is going to be an active voice. And I think for the city and for the university, you can't have a better minister of culture, because he's going to keep our feet to the fire and make sure this is one of the great venues in all the world.
Chip?
Back up. Self-proclaimed minister of culture. He gave himself the name when he walked in. I looked over and go, what is he doing here? I am the minister of culture. I said, yes, you are, my man.
He unfortunately gave himself the salary, too. That was...
Greg, Chip Brown with AM 1300 Longhorns 24/7. As far as how many bidders were there, obviously this is like a totally outside the box, innovative way of trying to find an arena without coming out of pocket, since you didn't have any replacement costs built in when the medical school was put in. But how many bidders and what was the biggest challenge in trying to put this financing together?
So I'm going to talk to our chief financial officer. There were three bidders to the RFP that was issued in February 2018.
And as far as the challenges, the biggest challenges in terms of getting this thing financed without coming out of pocket?
We got a great deal.
Great negotiator, Chip. I mean, come on.
So we obviously know this is replacing the Frank Irwin Center. Now, what are the next steps for that? What does that really mean for the center and your plans?
For the current Frank Irwin Center?
Yes.
Well, it'll be operating in its current use for basketball and events until the new arena is open. We hope to have it open in 2021. There's a lot of schedule issues that will need to be work on, but at that point, the basketball programs will move to the new arena, and it'll be open for planning and programming for events. And then we're planning to demolish the Frank Irwin Center for eventual expansion of the Dell Medical School.
Day one. So they're involved in this process from day one. They generate revenue day one. They get to control the revenue streams that they generate from their events, but they also participate in the revenue streams as well. And I think one of the things that Chris was insistent on throughout the whole process is that we're involved in the university and we're involved in the athletic department. And so part of what we're going to try to do is have an impact throughout the entire campus and university system. They are going to participate, though, from day one.
What's the fate of the Cooley Pavilion, and if it is torn down, as long as Wells Hero Center, how will go about building practice facilities?
Well, we feel, and we had conversations with Shaka and Karen, the Cooley facility is phenomenal. And we had just renovated that facility in the last couple of years, so we know that that's a phenomenal practice facility. So we feel in the short term we're going to really focus on the arena, because this is what our partnership was about. And at a later time when the facility is no longer serviceable, we'll have that discussion. But we just renovated Cooley, and it is a first-rate facility.
Dustin Combs from Orangewood. What's the current plan for the execution of changing the capacity for, I guess, music events or something like that, and basketball events? And were there any other arenas y'all looked at from a basketball and multi-use facet that you guys use as maybe examples when designing this?
We have yet to figure that out. I'm just joking. I think what the industry was is we knew there was a size of the arena that they needed from a standpoint of concerts. We get that. From my particular perspective of being here for a year, is looking at our venue. We average about 9,000. It's a 16,000 seat arena. It's way too big. We can have those moments where we all think, yeah, we had a Kansas game or a one-off game, but it's like building a baseball stadium. You don't build it for the weekend series. You build it for the Tuesday game that you have. Looking, a 10,000 seat arena is fantastic and perfect for us because it's loud. You can control when you have 9,000 fans or 10,000, it's jam-packed, it's sold out, and a sold-out arena has an unbelievable impact on the outcome of a men's basketball game or a women's basketball game. Just like this year, a sold-out football stadium created the magic that created us to come back and beat teams that we beat on that field this year. If you look at that USC game, you look at that Iowa State game, you start look at games we had where it was jam-packed, and the student section creates an unbelievable environment. So we think 10,000 is the right seat for right size for us. But the component of this here above that is those seats, and we're working on how that's still going to be designed. And we met with Gesler yesterday. They have awesome ideas, but we still got to make sure they mechanically work. I came to him one day. I said, I don't understand why a garage door can't work. He looked at me and goes, that's the biggest garage door we've ever seen. But you ought to be able to figure that out. If you can put it down, there has behind it are the seats, and we need you pull it up. But that's why they're here. They're the very best in the business that's designing this building for us.
How many employees does the Irwin Center have, and what does their future look like given that a new entity will be operating it?
We talked about today, and I just met with the Irwin employees this afternoon and said that, you know, we don't, our hopes and dreams that we have a timeline when the project will be open, but we're still working through those processes. But we have roughly around 50 full-time employees there. At some point in time when the arena becomes a reality, they will have an opportunity to sit down with Mr. Lewicki and have a discussion about moving over between this facility and the new company, but yet we have not determined that. Our goal is today is to get the building up and running and see where we're at from that standpoint, but we're cognizant that we have employees that are currently working for us that would like to continue working with us until the duration of this building. Then at that point in time, it'll be his opportunity to have that discussion with them.
So they can apply for employment, no guarantees?
Yes.
Anything to say about severance or anything like that if they don't get a new job?
Again, we have not, they'll have a chance to apply, to move over and apply for an opportunity to work in a new facility.
Two more, we got probably two more questions.
Stephen Wagner with the Daily Texan. Is there any timetable set for when expansion of Dell Medical Center will begin following the Irwin Center's demolition?
The Dell Medical School is about 5 years old. Medical schools need more space. We're working with Dell Medical School and our partners, Seton and Central Healthcare District that we work very closely with on future needs. We have a strategic planning process underway. We're talking probably 5 to 10 years in terms of long-term plan for new facilities, both clinical and medical school related facilities. So this is a long time planning process. We needed to build a new arena to have a modern facility, but also to allow this planning process for Dell Medical School to take place.